If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's March 31st, 2020, and today is Tuesday morning. It's the last day of the month. We hopefully will have NFP this Friday. Not sure how much is going to play out because there's so much unemployment because of what's going on because of the coronavirus. But taking a look at the markets, we're going to first start out with the currencies. South African Rand gets weaker versus the US dollar, while the dollar and the major pairs pretty much taper off after a very, very volatile couple of weeks. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we rallied to resistance yesterday and now tapering off. Looking at the commodities, gold pretty much unchanged while oil flattens at $21 a barrel. Lastly, looking at the stocks, it was Microsoft and Amazon that led the way and led the market higher yesterday. However, do realize that we are still in the midst of this hurricane that we're not sure when we're going to get out of. But let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trade. So we're going to first look at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart. You can see pretty much this tapering off, and this is quite natural. Okay, we had the initial move, okay, and then the reactionary move, and now we're pretty much back to where we were pre this coronavirus hurricane situation. So I still think we'll challenge this 106.9 again. Just I think it's going to take a longer time. It's not going to be as vicious and as quick. It's going to take just a little bit of churning and churning and churning until this actually fruites itself. But just be aware that looking at the GBP, same story, just tapering off. However, looking at the South African Rand, you see something very, very eerie to all-time highs, gapping up earlier this week and trading very close to this 18-ish level. Now, if it does break above 18, then we may even see it go to 20. Okay, now this is really all-time lows for the South African Rand, so you do want to be aware of it. Now, the South African government has to really put things together, and the country has to really come together in terms of this virus, and the economic situation there has been beaten up already. So, with that said, just be aware of this depreciation of the Rand. Now, looking at the price of gold, gold tapering off at 1614, not much of a change from yesterday, while oil bounces just a tab at 21.29. We're still lower from our 21.75-ish level, hitting a low of $20 a barrel. Okay, this is unprecedented. And yesterday we went over how unprecedented it is by looking at the ExxonMobil stock, okay, which is one of the largest oil companies in the world that provides oil. And we haven't been at these levels since 2000 and even 1997, okay, which is about 23 years ago. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, this is getting kind of interesting at these levels, all right? Now, we had this initial, call it a rally, okay, after the stimulus package came out last week, and now we're hitting a little bit of a resistance. Okay, now this is a Fibonacci resistance, okay, so it is I would add a little bit more weight to this resistance at this level. If it doesn't break above it later today, we may see it actually sell off. It won't sell off back to this 18 right away. I do believe that we'll see it selling off eventually down here, but I think we'll be churning a little bit around this area for some time until we do break lower. However, just be aware, some of the stocks are still strong. Microsoft traded up to $160 yesterday. So it was a nice little rally for Microsoft and Amazon. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But you do want to be aware that it is hitting a major level here. So speaking of Microsoft, let's just jump into it. $159, $160, a nice little rally for Microsoft. Okay, this did see a high of $190. Okay, so it does have still what to gain on the upside. However, like I said before, I do expect the moves to be less radical. Now, jumping into Amazon, it's almost back to its normal levels. Okay, 1,960 is where it's trading at right now. I do believe we'll have a little bit more of a push upward before this does take a little bit of a break. However, you do want to be on top of it because it is some of the leaders that are pushing some of the markets higher. Because when we look at JP Morgan, still very weak. Okay, so that's something to consider as we enter the balance of this week and enter into April. And as long as the numbers could be contained, as long as we could flatten the curve, so to speak, in this new virus cases, then I think we'll be successful in overcoming the situation and getting back to normalcy maybe in about 5 to 6 months from now. Okay, I think the markets will reel for a long time after all this is over. But for our day-to-day normalcy, working and having jobs, so to speak, okay, that will have some incentives going back into that environment once again. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.